casework and equipment, placing families. So we have an empty shell here ready for our kitchen cabinetry to be placed. We've loaded in a number of these families that we need, and now it's a matter of placing them. So how do we do that? I'll show you the first way. Let's go to our top of floor plan. Let's click on component. And then we can choose from a list of components and just place them on screen. So I could say base cabinet 2-bin, perhaps the 18-inch one. You see where I'm grabbing where the mouse is? That's at the back of the cabinet. So if I just drop it in, let's say here, let's hit escape. How do we really know what that looks like? At present, it's sort of a very vague look. Well, that's why we have different views. So if we go to interior view, we can see what's happening as we place it. Let's just hit the X. We'll close that view down. It'll take us back to our top of floor 1. What's the other way to insert cabinetry or insert families? Well, you see what I'm doing here? I'm scrolling down in the project browser down to families. And then I'm going to casework. Let's double click on that and open it up. And we can expand or contract each one of these particular headings. Now, notice we already brought in the 2-bin, so I don't need to bring that again. How about the base cabinet 4 drawers? And we'll pick the 15-inch for now. Of course, it can be changed. We'll drag and drop that, and there we go. So now I'm controlling this based upon its connection point to the wall. So if I hover over walls, what would happen if I, let's say, hovered over this wall here and hit the space bar? See what's happening? It's actually flipping and aligning. I hinted to that earlier, that the space bar can be used to flip and to align to things. So there we go. Let's put it right there, and I'm just going to put it approximately right there. Hit escape twice. That takes us out of the command. So those are the two ways to bring those in. So you've got the families heading in the project browser, and then you also have the component choice right here from the ribbon. Hit escape twice. Now, we did bring in those two. We want to bring in a number of other ones too as well. Let's refer back to our rendering. That'll kind of guide us as we go through and pick these different families. Okay, so here we are. We have that 2 drawer. Why don't we put in some equipment? So we want to put in the fridge, the range, and the dishwasher. How about that? So let's go to component, and we'll do it the first way we talked about. And we can scroll down and we can find our equipment here. So there's our equipment. Now I'm picking the 24 by 24. It's a small range for sure, but it's the one that we're going to use. Perhaps we've measured the client's existing equipment and that's what they have, but you can choose different sizes. Now I'm going to hit spacebar again. See, this one's a little bit different. You got to watch it because this one is controlled at the front. Okay, so I'm just going to drop it in. It's picking up a reference plane. Not too worried about that. I'll just hit escape. We can position this more accurately in a minute. Let's use the second way now. So this is families, and we're going to go to base cabinet. We're going to go to base cabinet double door with, let's just go base cabinet double door and 2 drawer. And let's bring in the 48-incher, and we'll just drop it in right there. And it actually picked up the center of the window. Let's hit escape. You're always going to want to be referring back to your 3D views as you go, and that gives you a nice picture of what's happening. So you can see things are starting to populate. Now, if we keep referring back to the interior 3D view, why don't we just have the 2 views open anyway? So how do we do that? Well, first of all, let's confirm which views are open. So I'm going to go to this in the quick access toolbar. We have the floor plan and a 3D view that are open right now. So that's good. We've got those 2 views. This will be perfect. Let's go to view. Let's go to this tool right here, which is called tile windows. Okay, so there is the view right there. Let's click on this right-hand side, and we can see it. Great. Now what we do in this floor plan view will show up in this 3D view. All right, so we're going to bring in the countertop with sink 24-inch depth. I'm just going to drag and drop that over. And let's just place that right there on that reference plane. So you can see automatically it's going to drop in at the correct height. I'm going to hit escape twice. Of course, you can click on all of these objects, the sink included, and we can change their dimensions. This one here says it's a 24-inch depth, but you can change even that with it. So you've got the sink location, opening dimensions, opening depth, Now, if I zoom in here, how can I move this over? Well, what I'm going to do is click on the object, and then I'm going to click Move, and I'm going to go from the center of the sink, which they already have a line for, and we're going to try to line that up with the center of the window. So let's see if we can get that. Now, it looks like it's trying to pick it up. If ever you have trouble doing this, like I'm having, let's just draw a quick little reference plane, and that'll remove all doubt that we're picking exactly the right point. So let's go to Home, Reference Plane, and we're going to pick from the midpoint of that window and down to there. Hit Escape twice. I'm going to click on that family, click on the Move tool. Now we're going to pick right in the center of that sink, and then we're going to pick as our second point that reference plane. So now that sink has been centered on the window. Now we can just delete that reference plane. Sort of like a construction line that we're using. Now some other little things you'll notice is as we draw in 3D, you notice things like, hey, this sink and this window and this backsplash, we have a problem here. That's good. That's why we're using Revit. We want to see stuff like this, and then we can make adjustments as we go. Same thing with this. We see a trim and we see a countertop. I mean, in plan, you might think that's okay, but when you see it in 3D, it's not. So we could click on that family. These families are parametric, so we can pull that right back and give ourselves enough room so we clear that trim. Okay, so let's zoom out in both of these views. I'm going to click and just roll out on both of them. And we can keep populating this. So we have some more to do. Let's just do a few more. Let's bring in the fridge. So that's under specialty equipment. We've got a refrigerator. And then you can choose the swing on this. So maybe we want a left-hand swing. Again, that's something we can change later if we really want to. We just drag and drop, and then we can put that in. So let's look in here. Another reason why you use 3D. It's not left hand where the swing is, it's left hand where the handle is. So how do we swap that out? Well, let's just click on it. Let's drop down the list. Now I'm looking at this 35-inch one. Let's go to a 30-inch and we'll do a right hand swing. Now you can see right there, we have an issue because it looks like we did have it rotated. Let's just click on it. And you can do this in either plan or in the 3D view. And if you just hit space, there we go. Now it's a little bit more clear. Okay, so how do we move this? Well, we can click on it, use the move tool, and then we can just move it from maybe just a little bit off of the fridge, give it a little bit more space against the wall. We don't want it right butting up against it. Okay, so we have some other elements that we want to bring in. We have a dishwasher, we have some upper cabinets. So we're going to go to the dishwasher, and let's just drag and drop that into this view and place. There it is. Of course, it doesn't not guarantee that it's going to be in exactly the right place. Looks like we got pretty close there, though. Okay, this one right here, this little four-drawer thing, looks like it's a little bit off. So let's just move that. And I just clicked, and then I dragged it. And I could do the same with the stove. Good. Okay, what about some other things here? We've got some other cabinets we got to bring in. I'm going to bring in some uppers right now. Let's just get those in place. So if we go back up to casework, and then we're going to go to the upper cabinets. So these are right here, upper cabinet. This is found, again, under families in your project browser. Upper cabinet, corner unit, wall. Good. Let's bring that corner unit in there. Now notice these ones are a little bit different because they have the word wall on them. It means that they're looking for a wall in order to be hosted. Now that it found a wall, it's hosted to this one, it's in there. Okay, we've got also upper cabinet double door wall, and we can pick a size, maybe 42, I'm just guessing, but it needs a wall. So we can just drop that in. It's a pretty big cabinet. Okay, we've also got a single door that we're going to need. Now let's make sure that this view is active, and then let's just drag in one of those single doors, find a wall. Okay, one there as well. Now, there's still some things we need to talk about, and that is positioning things exactly as well as making some custom families. So let's do that in a future video. So far, we've talked about loading the families in externally, then internally, how do you get them into your model, which we talked about. There's hosted, so the uppers are hosted. The base ones are not hosted to the wall, so they're a little bit more free. And then we also use some align tools and move tools as well. So we want to make some custom families, some custom sizes of these upper cabinets and base cabinets, as well as position them exactly in the right place.